So my name is Jessie. I am the Community Outreach Specialist for the Resource and Crisis Center today. I did want to acknowledge that we do have some of our board members here today just to support. I also would like to mention that I am from Texas City myself, so I'm absolutely honored to be here as an advocate and as a resident of Texas City myself. Just for a little statistics, in the United States, 20 people every minute are affected by domestic violence. Every minute. 1 out of 4 women and 1 out of 9 men suffer from domestic violence. In the United States, 1 out of 5 children have already spoken with a predator online without their knowledge. These are real statistics, and this is why the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, does declare domestic violence and sexual assault as a public health crisis. This is something that can be changed when the community is involved and education and prevention is available for all residents. One thing that I would like for you guys to take away from this moment is that abusers love ignorant communities. The reason why is because it's easier for them to get away with the violence that they perpetrate. So the more that we talk about it, the more that we make resources available for victims, the less that we'll have victims needing to seek services, the more that we'll actually see reporting happening within our community, and the less crime that we'll have in our community. So the more that we care, the more change that we see. So I urge you guys to get educated, know about domestic violence, human trafficking, and sexual assault within your community. And if you have any questions, please reach out to the Resource and Crisis Center. We have a 24/7 crisis hotline, we have an emergency crisis shelter, and we have other resources available for counseling, advocacy, legal therapy, anything that you guys need. All right. Thank you guys so much.
We had such a great year, it was extremely difficult to decide what to share, but I will try. Texas City Fire Department report, year in review. We're very proud to share the rendering of Station 5, which is located on FM 2004 between Highway 3 and EFL. Here's the rendering. Staffing notables. We're 91% staffed. We had 2 retirements in the past 12 months. Chief David Zackrell, 36 years of service. Captain Wendell Wiley, our EMS director, 20 years of service. And we still keep in touch with both of them. They are doing great. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you. We completed or collected a whopping $2,787,000 in EMS collections. That's a monthly average of about $232,000 a month, with a net collection rate of 60%. So yes, we had a great collection year. We made a few EMS operational changes. Several had a very high impact, so I listed a couple here. We incorporated IV warmers, and if you've ever had an IV, you know how important that is, or if you've ever given an IV, you would have received feedback from a patient about the temperature of the IV. So this definitely will improve patient outcomes and reduce complications. And we replaced a device called the Combi Tube, which will also improve patient safety and airway management. And I've mentioned many times, our staff spends an immense amount of time in enclosed spaces caring for the seriously ill citizens. Despite those challenges, we successfully reduced total sick leave usage from the previous year by approximately 10%, so we're very proud of that. Three of our firefighters were named Houston Area 100 Club Firefighter of the Year, and that's the first time in history, in our department's history, that this has occurred, and we're very proud of our firefighters for making that happen. In the last 12 months, we established a public-private partnership with the College of the Mainland to facilitate their rapid expansion and meet their immediate needs. We implemented a donation box ordinance and successfully removed numerous unsightly overfilled donation boxes throughout the city. And we had a tremendous amount of work that we put in on the development of a battery storage ordinance, and we worked real closely with planning and engineering in developing that ordinance. Our training division this year really shined. First time in history, we became a Texas Commission on Fire Protection training facility. We also taught our first instructor course, which the course is typically $500 per person, and now we can teach it in-house for free. For the first time in our training division's history, we hosted Pasadena Chemical Emergency Response Teams, and we generated over $140,000 in revenue from the training field. This year, we increased the use of the training field tremendously with outside agencies and other partners. And we look to keep growing that training field usage. Over the past 12 months, we had so many memorable calls. It was hard to pick some to share, but here are a few. Our total calls was 10,451. We had 391 lift assists. A lift assist is a person needing help getting up or getting into the bed or getting onto a stretcher. We had 51 chow births, 38 jellyfish bites, and 22 dog bites. So yes, we had more jellyfish bites than dog bites reported last year. We had 14 water rescues, 1 sea turtle rescue, which we found that a sea turtle was tangled in fishing line with a hook in one of his flippers and struggling to stay afloat. The crew entered the water and carefully removed that turtle and handed him off to the Turtle Preservation Group. The turtle reportedly made a full recovery. We received an outpouring of support surrounding the sea turtle rescue and many thank you calls. We received calls from Florida and even one from Canada. From fires to felines, and now keys and trees. We call that just another day in the Texas City Fire Department. But we did have a citizen who was in a hurry running to her car. She accidentally slung her keys into a nearby tree. And needless to say, we were able to get the keys down for her, but she did end up being late to her appointment. We also had an individual in Station 4's district attempt to remove his cat named Nacho from a drainage pipe. The trapped individual was freed and Nacho was also rescued. Neither Nacho or the citizen were injured physically.
An official public information request for the letter, only to be responded that there was no such document to support my request. That's interesting. Number 3, a review of the Texas City Historical Preservation current bylaws include these 3 conditions, and I've got them printed in the back for you. Article 3, Section 3 notes that the requirements for annual meetings to be in line with the requirements of the Texas tax-exempt organization regulation. We haven't met in over a year. Number 2, Article 3, Section 1, all officers other than the chairperson shall be the subject of removal, other than the chairperson. Article 8, which is an interesting one, the amendments. A proposal to alter, amend, or repeal these bylaws shall be made by the affirmative vote of a majority of the full board of the Texas City Corporation, then appointed and serving at the annual or other regular meeting. We haven't had a meeting since 2024. So, as a final note, the posted agenda of today's meeting does not include, as I think it should, a copy of Resolution 2025-113. I think that the Commission should reflect and consider delaying action of this proposal until this fabricated process is done correctly. Just my thoughts, and comments, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce. All right. At this time, we are up to,
Mayor, question.
yes.
Can we do like a point of information or
Yes, we
clarification for the
will do a
record?
point of information on Mr. Boyce's comments to the commission. Ms. Ramari Lee, our city secretary.
So we're just gonna kind of go in order, since Mr. Boyce reported that this is factual information. First, he was not appointed as chair or vice chair at the January 2024 meeting. Lacey Henderson was, and then Miss Terry O'Brien was voted as vice chair. And we have a copy of those oaths of offices. Renee went to go fetch them if you'd like to see them. So that's first thing that needs to be corrected for the record. Second, his Public Information Act that has not yet been answered. As everyone knows, we have up to 10 days to respond to open records requests. He's only on day 5. I apologize that I have not gotten it done sooner than that, but we are still within the timelines as allowed by the Public Information Act. The second, if anyone in the public would love to watch our meetings, they are on YouTube. If you go to the October 1st meeting to the 14-minute mark, you will see and hear that I nor anyone at that meeting stated that his removal was recommended by a letter. It was stated that his recommendation for removal was recommended by the board secretary of that board, but no one said that it was by a letter. If we would like to discuss openly what those reasons were, we absolutely can, and I have that information present today. Third and final is these pieces of the bylaws that were presented. The city commission oversees every single board, commission, advisory group of the city. It does not say that the board is required to make suggestions before an amendment can take place. And so those are the 3 points of information that I'd like to correct for the record.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lee. We're going to move on to the consent agenda.
Well, wait, well, hold on. We didn't bring up a letter in the last meeting?
You guys stated that you'd like him to receive a letter, and he did receive a letter.
There was
But there
nothing
was
about a
no-
letter from them?
There's not a letter from me, the board secretary,
Well, not
stating,
from you, from the committee. That the committee never wrote you a letter?
no one stated that no one stated that the entire committee wrote a letter for his
But
removal.
Did you receive a letter?
From whom?
From the committee, from anyone on that committee?
No, and that was never stated on record, and you can go to the YouTube video to
I
hear
go to the
that.
YouTube video back and go in my mind, and I remember.
Okay, so the bottom line is, there's been some confusion about a letter, okay? What I believe Ms. Ramari has stated was that in the meeting, it was never stated that a letter was submitted for his removal. What she stated was his removal was recommended.
By,
She didn't say it was
How was it?
recommended by letter. And so when
how was it recommended? I'm sorry, go ahead.
it can be recommended through conversation, just through a meeting.
But it wasn't said anything about a letter?
No,
According to what Ms. Lee is saying, that there was never a statement said that a letter was given recommending his removal.
Am I the only one here that thinks this?
But it doesn't matter what we recall. What we're saying is that our meetings are recorded, so it's verifiable to go back and look at the meeting to see if that was said.
Okay, so I'll ask again, does anyone else of you guys, does anyone remember this that I remember?
I think what happened, and this is just my recollection
Help me,
of it.
help me.
I don't, if there's a video, I think that I asked, hey, who recommended that he be removed or something along those lines? And then I think Ms. Lee said that the city's, the secretary.
Board secretary
yeah,
recommended to
made
me.
the
and
recommendation. So I'm not, again, if there's a video, then we have to go about what the evidence
So-
says, so.
the commission
course.
did ask if a letter would be sent to him, and we stated yes, a letter would be
Right, well,
sent
I'm
to
not talking
him.
about that letter. I understand that part. I just could have swore that they had written a letter, and you said you had a letter, and we said, Can we see it and you're in front of him now?
No, she's, at that point, she was asking about, do we want to disclose what was recommended? Not about a letter. It was just, do we want to disclose the conversation that was had about the recommendation of Mr. Boyce being removed?
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Thank everybody for your commentary. We're gonna move on with the agenda, because this is an agenda item. And when we
Right.
get to that agenda item, we can speak more about that item
Okay.
as we deliberate, okay? So we're moving on to agenda item 7, which is our consent agenda. Our consent agenda is 7A through K. Those have been presented to you for your observation. If there's any of these that you would like pulled for further discussion, you can do so at this time.
Mayor, I'd like item C from the consent agenda to be pulled.
Item C. Okay, any others?
And we were speaking on H, that's what we're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah, let's just pull H so we can talk about it and kind of move past it.
Okay. Item C and H, are there any others?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item C and item H.
Or second?
Motion has been made by Commissioner Clark to approve consent agenda items, all except C and H, seconded by Commissioner Knoxon. Any further discussion? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item C is to consider and take action on resolution number 2025-108, approving the court administrator to administratively close all cases older than September 30th, 2013 that meet certain criteria. We'll hear from our municipal court clerk, Ms. Tammy Odom.
Good evening, everyone. This item is to administratively close cases that have final conviction and final judgment. In odd number years, court staff reviews cases for a certain period of time that they determine to be uncollectible. And some of the reasons may be that the age of the case itself. Some of these cases are from 2010, so they're fairly old. And the age of the defendant, we feel like if you're 100 years old, you're the winner. You win. We're not going to continue to try to come find you. And sometimes we're missing pertinent documents that should be included in the case file that for some reason failed to be scanned in, or they didn't get placed in the case jacket, or for whatever reason it would not be fair to the defendant in these cases to move forward. So we add those to our list as well. So this involves 1,221 cases spanning from January 1 of 2010 to September 30 of 2013. The total value of those cases, if collected in full, would be $434,197.97. Of that portion, the portion that the city gets to retain, if it were collected, is $172,232.50. The remaining balance of $306,976.50 would be state court costs, administrative fees, and collection agency fees. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Odom. Commissioners, any questions?
And we
about-
do this every other year, correctly?
We do
Correct.
this every other year. In odd number years, we audit case files, and in even number years, we do a warrant audit, just to make sure that we have all the case files that match our warrants.
Is this in line with the custom of municipal courts?
Yes, sir.
Does the state also have to approve this request since they're losing funding also, or?
No, sir. By law, the judge can actually administratively close these cases, but it has been the practice of the court to bring this to the commission for your approval.
Motion to approve, Mayor.
A second.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Garza to approve this item, seconded by Commissioner Clark. Any further discussion? All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Next, we'll consider 7H, consent agenda item 7H, where we will consider and take action on resolution number 2025-113, amending the historical preservation bylaws. Ms. Ramari Lee, can you give us the summary of this?
Hello again, Mayor and Commissioners. So the item that's before you is to bring the Historical Preservation Committee in alignment with the other boards, commissions, and committees, or the corporations, as we like to call them, of the city. So a little bit of historical context. When the board was created in 2005, it was a 5-member board. Shortly after, in 2006, the Heritage Committee, which I think is a separate entity that's since dissolved, again, was dissolving. And so the administration at that time thought that it would be best for historical preservation to absorb those duties of the Heritage Committee and some of those board members. So historical preservation then became a 7-member board. The historical preservation bylaws were amended in 2012 to remove Heritage Committee duties. I'm not sure if that committee is back full circle, but historical preservation's now main focus is to support the museum. And so since their duties have decreased, it's our recommendation that the board reflect its original inception of a 5-member board. And that would also go in line with what was passed at a previous commission meeting, where we now only have 5 members on that board. And there's no fiscal impact to this item.
So basically, this item is trying to amend the bylaws to where this committee is a 5-member board, as is the case with most of the boards and commissions we have in the city.
Correct. Or at least the corporations of the city.
We currently have 5 members on that board.
Correct.
Just for the record, does that bylaws indicate how members can be removed?
They can themselves submit
Resign?
a resignation, or it's always up to the pleasure of the mayor and commission.
So I do want
And, oh, I'm sorry.
I do want to clarify that all members of these boards and commissions are appointed by the mayor, and they are approved by the commission. The mayor's appointments comes from staff recommendations, comes from applications, it comes from just feedback and meetings on attendance, anything. Everybody who serves on the boards and the commissions and the committees of the city does so under the understanding that they are extensions of staff and ambassadors to the city. And so those are a lot of the things that come into play. And so based on staff recommendations and a lot of different variables, these appointments are made. But the commission does have a vote on that as well.
That's a good point. The mayor appoints and the commission approves for appointments. What about for terminations?
Same thing. It's like in the state of Texas, every employee is an at-will employee. You're an at-will
Committee member?
service board member as well.
To further address your question, Commissioner Garza, like the mayor said, for attendance, most of these boards have a stipulation in their bylaws, just like our charter does, that after 3 meetings, they can be removed.
I agree with that. I think that's good. That's on our bylaws too for the advisory board for the golf course. Thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
doing that. That's
And then the secretary is responsible for communicating that, I guess, to you.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So it just depends. The city secretary is not the board secretary for all boards and commissions of the city, but yeah, it just depends. So for the boards and committees that the city secretary is in charge of, yes, that's something that I'd have to communicate.
Okay.
I hope that answered your question clearly. Okay.
Any other questions of discussion on this agenda item? I'm sorry, sir. This is not the time for you to speak. This is time for the commission. Are there any other questions about this agenda item to amend the bylaw?
I would also like to say that on February 21st, 2025, I sent an email to Mr. Boyks and the other active board members to let them know that an item like this would be forthcoming because we were having difficulties with getting a full board quorum. As he stated in what he presented, there was lots of meetings where there was possibly only 4 out of the 7 people present. And so when things are being approved, it doesn't really give you a full encompassed board, and it doesn't really show the entire will of the board. And so they were aware that a recommendation would come to lower the standard.
I also wanted to just mention that the letter that welcomes new board members being appointed is sent out after the commission approves that appointment, as well as the letters of removal. And the letter of removal was sent to all people who were removed from boards. Mr. Boyce was not the only one, but those letters are sent out. And I believe that the letter that he had asked for wasn't in alignment with the letter that was sent out, but it was asked before the letter was sent out. So when you send out something there's no, what is it, responsive documents responsive to this request, is because that was the case at the time the request was made. So in other words, if you request a letter Monday, but it wasn't sent out until Tuesday, well, when you requested it Monday, it wasn't ready. And so when you send it out Tuesday or Wednesday, you have it. So I'm not sure if that was the case with Mr. Boyce, but he received the letter both email and U.S. postal mail.
I think the letter he's talking about is a letter that I too somehow got confused thinking there's a letter. I think that's what he's talking about.
It's possible
not
that there was a
letter.
misunderstanding in what was
That's
said.
what we're talking about. So if there wasn't a letter, and I was wrong, and if I was, I apologize. I'm sorry. I thought there was.
I heard the same thing, so.
I thought, I heard it, I thought it, but
Well, you checked the video, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did not say there was a letter sent.
I recall you saying, will he receive a letter?
And we stated yes, because he will receive a letter, like,
we're not talking
But-
about any letter going to Jose. We're talking about a letter that went to you.
I do
That's
not
the letter
remember
I'm
that.
talking about.
Okay.
Nothing, Jose.
I know what you're
wouldn't
saying now.
apologize.
I'm saying, from what I recall you saying, is about will he receive a letter? That's where the
yeah,
word letter
that was
came
my
from.
understanding. I thought
Oh.
that you were asking for one that was going to go to Jose, not something that came to me.
So he
I
wasn't
underst-
removed because of a letter, correct?
no,
Recommendation.
just a recommendation.
Just a recommendation.
From only he was recommended for removal before his term from just the board that I sit on. I'm not going to speak
Who
on,
recommended his removal?
for
The
historical
committee?
preservation,
Yeah,
or
was it the
for
committee or was it
planning
one
and
person?
zoning?
I'm just trying to get it clear.
for historical preservation,
Historical
I, as the
preservation,
board
right.
secretary, did recommend his removal because of the 3 times that he violated the Texas Open Meetings Act. And that was on May 2024, November 27, 2024, and February 24th, 2025. And those are by email. And so that was the basis of my recommendation.
That's good to know. Thank you for sharing.
That makes more sense now.
But I didn't necessarily want to put that on
It was
record.
brought up at the last meeting about, do we want to disclose that information at
Right.
the meeting? And this is what she said, was pretty much saying she didn't want to disclose, but if we wanted to hear it, that's all we got to do is ask about it at that meeting.
I understand all that.
I
just
do
thought there
apologize
was a letter
to
that said
you
that.
all and Mr. Boyce. It's not that we ever want to not seem transparent, but I also don't want to hurt his feelings in an open meeting.
Out of respect.
Of course,
Yes.
of course not. No
And that's
one
when we
wants to
said
do
not to
that.
go there. remember?
That's why I said we
He's a
should.
very respected person in this community, so, and a lot of people were asking a lot of questions about it. That's
And
why it's such a
sensitive.
big thing.
And he always sends emails with a plethora of information, and that is okay. But where the violations sometimes happen is because he is a sitting board member and these are agenda items, sending the information and stuff that he does and asking people to consider things in a certain way become an issue. So when he's not sitting on said boards and he does what he does, that we all love, his humble opinions, it's okay and it's no longer a violation and it's no longer a liability for the city.
So let me just say this as we move on, if there are not many other questions. we're thankful to Mr. Boyks and anybody who volunteers to serve their time on a commission, on a board, on a committee. We have over 30 boards and committees, throughout the city. We're thankful to each of you commissioners who pretty much volunteer your time as well. Each one of those terms has expiration dates, has term limits, or, those terms expire. And Mr. Boyks and so many others serve on multiple boards, and they have served many years. Let me be clear, there is no person in the city of Texas City, no matter who you are, who is guaranteed to remain on a board at your pleasure. Nobody's guaranteed to say, well, I've been here for 10 years, I've been here for 20 years, I need to stay. Everybody has an expiration date, a time that, where things change and we reappoint people and so on. And so I hate that there has been such a cloud of misunderstanding around this removal, which is an absolute normal process, right? There are people who are appointed and removed from boards every single year. And so why this one has garnered so much attention, it's beyond me. But I put in the letter to Mr. Boyks that this was not a negative. There was nothing malicious done. I've had person-to-person, face-to-face meetings with Mr. Boyks, invited him in my conference room to explain, not to his liking, but nonetheless, the attempt was made. And so I just wanted to let him and everybody here and everybody who's watching know that our boards and commissions operate because of the volunteer work of the wonderful citizens of this city, and we'll continue to do that because we have so many great people who are civic-minded, who are active, who do have various subject matter expertise, from their different walks of life. And so we're very thankful to them. And but I think this agenda item at hand talks about reducing the number from 7 on the board to 5 on the board. And it would help in what Mr. Boyks was complaining about, the fact that they haven't met in over a year because of constant lack of quorums. And so that quorum number changes as well. And so it's my opinion that we're headed in the right direction.
I agree. The reason you increased it was because you absorbed another board. Now that other board is no longer part of that group, so we're going back to the way it was. I make a motion to approve.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Garza to approve this agenda item, seconded by Commissioner Sharp. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And that concludes the consent agenda. We're up to the regular items. Ladies and gentlemen, on regular item 8A, we will consider and take action on resolution number 2025-114, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Water Company of America to examine the utility billing, distribution, and collection systems for accuracy in metering, billing, and collection. We'll hear from our CFO, Ms. Rushing.
Thanks, Mayor, Commissioners. I am delighted to stand before you. I think we have a great opportunity to partner with the Water Company of America on a utility revenue enhancement. WCA will conduct a revenue audit to identify lost revenue in our billing process due to either unbilled or misbilled for utility services. WCA has a proven track record in increasing revenue for municipalities. I'll give you a few examples. With the Woodlands, their revenue increased, annual revenue increased by $776,000. And in Beaumont, their revenue annual increase was $5 million. There is no upfront cost to us for this service. However, it is a revenue sharing agreement. So this means that whatever the revenue increase is, we will share that with WCA for a time period. So this agreement would be 50% sharing over 48 months. And I'm so excited that we do have a representative from Water Company of America here. And I would like to invite Shane up and give you a little bit more information and then take any questions you may have for him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I appreciate it. My name is Shane Sangali, Water Company of America. I'm based out of Little Rock, Arkansas, so I'm not a Texan. Don't hold that against me. I'm happy to be here. Ms. Rushing and I have been communicating back and forth. I've presented in her office to her staff, to the mayor, several times regarding our program. Basically, Water Company of America has been in existence since 1989. The very first contract we did was with the city of Houston, looking at just commercial properties. We're a Houston-based company with an office just up on the east side of Houston. Since that time, we've worked with about 135 different clients throughout Texas and the Southeast. Most recently, as Ms. Rushing mentioned, Woodlands Water Authority, Beaumont. We're just going under contract with League City and Baytown as well. We're working in the Metroplex, in Euless, several places in East Texas. Everywhere we go, we find missing revenue. And that, I can't put a number on what that. She gave you some numbers on what we have found in some particular instances, but it's different everywhere. I can't come into Texas City and say, you have 19,500 accounts and we're going to find $500,000. I don't know until we get in and we kind of see what the situation is. I can say that there's money out there. There's money out there missing. Every account we've worked with, we have had the opportunity to uncover revenue for them, increase revenue, and it's been very, very beneficial for them. Our process is real simple. We do an analysis of the utility billing system. We're looking for anomalies, things that could cause a customer's bill to go out incorrectly, a rate code that's wrong, a meter size that's wrong, a service that's not listed, a meter that was set and nobody knows is out there. We'll also look at, I can't remember if this particular contract had garbage on it as well. No, no garbage, just water and wastewater. So a lot of what we find is sewer. Now it's important to note that what 98 to 99% of the accounts are billed correctly, right? So if you've got 19,500 accounts, you know, probably 300 to 500 of them are wrong, potentially wrong. It's not like we're going to come in and we're going to find that half of the accounts are wrong and the ratepayers, the residents, are going to see a drastic increase in their utility bills in a short period of time. That's not the way that it works. Over about half of what we find are residential fines, but the bulk of the revenue that we uncover is commercial and it's large properties, large users, meters that were set that were not found, or meters that are slowing, or again, rates that may be incorrect. So it's important to note that this is not going to be an issue with your ratepayers or your residents, and have a lot of feedback from them. I could go on and go through a full presentation, but I don't want to bore you with all of that, so I want to just take a time and open it up for questions from any that you have, and I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. Commissioners, you have any questions?
Sure. We're not as big as those other cities that you generated a lot of money. Is the 50-50 normal for every city regardless, or is there determined by the amount of money you collect?
Sure. It's funny you asked that question. I've been with the company for 4 years. Prior to my involvement with the company, it was actually a 60-40 split, with the water company's share being 60%. And it was a shorter time, over a 3-year period. And as I began talking to customers and clients, I actually said, to me, it sounds fair. It seems more fair if it's a 50-50 split with the cities. So in my time, in the 4 years that I've been here, and the 15 contracts that I have initiated, it's been 50% for a 4-year period. Now, we have had in the past things negotiated for some larger cities. We have worked for the New Orleans Sewage and Water Board. We've worked for Orlando and Miami-Dade. And some of those times, we're talking about big millions of dollars, more than what we're seeing in Beaumont, tens of millions of dollars. And so we all have to sit down and go, okay, what seems maybe a little bit more fair in those instances?
So if you solve all the problems within the first year, you still get a 50-50 split for 4 years?
For 4 years on that particular account, yes, sir.
Okay.
And then once we have finished our receivables on those 4 years, the 100% of the increased revenue belongs to the city.
What's the expected timeframe on the audit, if y'all mentioned that?
19,000 accounts is probably a 6 to 12 months, I would say. We will have boots on the ground, meaning we will have a crew in town after we've done all of our initial data analysis, and it's kind of showed us where we maybe need to go and verify some meter numbers and some account connections and things like that. Another 6 to 12 months of boots on the ground, maybe a week at a time. And then after that, it's just a kind of a monitoring process for the next 18 to 24 months of just kind of seeing, did we miss anything? Do we notice any chronic problems within utility billing that are recurring that we can kind of give our expertise on and make that? And then after that, there's no more boots on the ground and it's just a revenue sharing. So it's hard to say because, again, every utility is different. I'm in Beaumont, they have 43,000 accounts and we'll probably be there for another year and we've already been there for 2. We're just uncovering a lot over there. And sometimes we come in and we don't find a lot and we're out of here in 6 months and we go forward from there.
Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners?
Will there be a presentation on what they find, once everything's wrapped up and all
Yeah,
that?
so excuse me. The great thing about this is that whatever they find, they present to the city, and the city will agree on whether or not we're going to fix the adjustment or the concern. Some things may be, as Shane has shared with me, some things could be political, where maybe we find that there's a wrong meter at the school district. And we say, well, we're not going to replace that because we know that it's going to cause whatever the problem, maybe a bigger fallout, and we'll support that. We don't want to have a negative impact on their revenue stream or their costs or their expenditures. So we actually are in control and we can take the position of we're not going to fix that. It may be something else that they come and we say we don't fix or we don't agree, we won't honor. The thing about that is that if we disqualify or disclaim several of these in a row, then WCA is going to view it as, hey, you're really not serious about this, and then they'll just walk away,
We're the problem.
right? But that is a great relationship to have because we actually have the option. And so they will present, they will provide, I don't know what the frequency is, if it's going to be monthly or weekly, but it's an update that they present to us, and so they keep us informed the entire time. You want to add anything else?
Yeah. We present our findings monthly to whoever the contract administrator is that we're working with. In this case, it may be Cynthia, or she may delegate that to someone else. We present our findings monthly to show this is what is out there. This is what we've uncovered. If you make these changes, this is the new revenue that you should increase, and then you have the opportunity then to approve or deny those, as she said. Again, some of it is political, some of it just doesn't make sense. It may be a 6-inch meter that we uncover that's not being billed 100%, but yet there's very little flow going through it. And so it may cost $4,000 to change out a 6-inch meter, but you're only going to increase the revenue by $70 a month. The ROI doesn't make sense there, right? So that's one that you would definitely not approve. That is done monthly, and then once those are corrected, and then we start sending the invoices, that's also reviewed monthly. And then about every 6 months, I send out a report of everything that we found, broken down by what type of find it is, whether it's residential, commercial, sprinkler, water, sewer, whatever the case may be, and what those projected revenue numbers are. Because it's important for Ms. Rushing to have that information for next year's budget time, right? Because next year, now you're going to have a budget item for how much are you going to have to pay water company. And so she needs to know what those projected revenues are. So I present that about every 6 months in a report to her.
I also want to add that we share the revenue based on the actual, not a projection. So WCA may say, hey, we believe the usage is X, and your projected revenue increase is $1,000, and the actual revenue comes in at something different. We will be doing revenue sharing on the actuals. It's not on the projection. So that's another good relationship to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not what you actually bill. You have to collect the dollar before you can actually pay us the 50 cents out of it, right?
I've never heard of this process, but I like it. I think we're on the right track. My other question is, did this require it to go out on bids? Or were they a buy board or?
So they are on a buy board, so we can piggyback on that particular contract. The other thing is that WCA is the only service that provides this type of service.
I looked them up online. I agree with you.
Just one more question for me. When you say boots on the ground, you have technicians that will, be with PNIDs or following our technicians to find the water meters? How?
Sure. So once we have done our review of the data, done all the analysis, and it spits out a list of suspect properties for us to go and investigate, we will then sit down with the contract administrator, and we will have what we call a start work meeting, and we will ask for a notice to proceed at that point. And at that point, we will go through what everybody's duties are, and that includes what our boots on the ground are going to look like, right? The badges that they wear, the shirts that they wear, the signs on the side of their truck. And we also asked for a letter from the city on your letterhead that states what we are doing, so that when if we are out there in the field and we are encountered by a customer or a ratepayer, we can present this letter to them so they understand exactly why we are looking at their water meter or looking at their sewer service. And if that doesn't satisfy them and they tell us to leave, then we are going to leave and let them call someone to come back out with us. We don't require to have any of the public works or utility guys with us unless you tell us that we have to. Typically, we don't. It's our process is to try to make it as less burdensome as we possibly can on your staff, both internally in utility billing, in finance, and the field people out there in the field. Our guys are experienced. They know what water meters look like. They know where to kind of go and find them, where they're hidden at a lot of places. So they're experienced with that very thing. Her involvement, the finance department's involvement, is directly related to how much we're uncovering. If we're not finding a lot, there's not a lot of hours spent on our contract. If we're finding a lot, then there's a lot of cleaning up that has to be done, correct? So.
Thank you.
That sounds great.
Make a motion to approve.
I like it. I second it.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Knoxon to approve this item 8A, seconded by Commissioner seconded by Commissioner Clark. Any further discussion? All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you for the information.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to that $5 million collection.
Per month.
Item 8B, consider and take action on resolution number 2025-115, approval of a blanket purchase order to Gulf Coast Water Authority in the amount of $5,700,000 for the purchase of drinking water for fiscal year '26. We hear from Mr. Jack Harrelson.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. This is just our standard agreement that we have with Gulf Coast Water Authority. Now, I'm glad I followed the gentleman from WCA because this should be almost 100% reimbursed by our water bills. So this is something that we write the PO for, we pay the bill, but we use the funds from our water bills to reimburse ourselves.
Thank you, Jack.
Is this amount what you've done or normally done? Is this, because I've seen this amount before.
We try to estimate it. We use what we did last year, and then they put an estimate in, and then we settle up at the end of the year. So I looked at the last like 3 or 4 years, and it went from, I think, around $4 million all the way up to $6-something million. Because we've got some agreements that we have with Gulf Coast Water for things that they're going on in the plants, and it's part of our contract. So it can change a little bit, but we have $6.1 million budgeted for paying for our drinking water as well as any repairs that we're obligated to pay for on the water plant as a whole.
I like that. Thank you, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, comments?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Clark to approve this item, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jack. Next agenda item 8C, to consider and take action on resolution 2025-120, authorizing a lease agreement with Mainland Children's Partnership for temporary office space. We're from Management Services, Executive Director, Mr. John Branson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commissioners, As the mayor just stated, this item is requesting your approval for authorization for the mayor to enter into a lease agreement with Mainland Children's Partnership for temporary office space for those employees that are currently residing in City Hall that will need to be relocated and housed somewhere else while the new municipal complex is being built. So what we're proposing is that we would lease approximately 10,358 square feet of office space, and we would pay $2 per square foot for the lease of that office space. If you know anything about office space rental, it's very inexpensive. Class A office space, the average price in Texas is $38 per square foot. For Class B, it's $24 per square foot. And for Class C, it's $19 per square foot. And we're getting this for $2 per square foot. And they're paying for utilities, electric, gas, water, sewer, and trash collection. That we won't have to pay for, which we are currently paying for some of those right now. This would be for a 2-year agreement. It would begin November 1st and would be for 2 years. We have the ability to extend that for 2 6-month terms if we were to need to do that, which I don't think we will, but that option is in there. And recommend your consideration and approval, and be pleased to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, John. Commissioners?
Is this at 21st in Texas?
Yeah, it's 2000 Texas Avenue, right at the corner of 21st and Texas Avenue.
Those are good people.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Commissioner Garza to approve this agenda item, seconded by Commissioner Knoxon. Any other discussion? All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8D. 8D, consider and take action on Resolution 2025-121, authorizing the Texas City Fire Department to enter a contract with Westnet First In Alerting to install alerting smart station systems at the fire stations. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to start off by saying this is part of our budget for this year. It is included in there. This is our station alerting system, and this gentleman here, Battalion Chief Simons, he eats, sleeps, and drinks station alerting. He's just going to give you a very brief overview of this system and what we're looking to do.
So basically, our current station alerting system was the original system installed back in the 90s, so it's over 30 years old. And as we've expanded and we've built Station 4, we've come to the conclusion through multiple trials, attempts, backdoor options, trying to get everything to work, that that system is antiquated. The vendor for that system no longer supports that system, and we're going to have to make a transition. So we went out, studied a bunch of different options out there, and Westnet, they met all of our needs, and they also came in at the lowest bid on that. So this is to change, come to state-of-art station alerting, and basically this is the system that wakes our guys up. This is the one that turns all the lights on, lets us know that there's actual call. They're state-of-art. They're used in our area. Webster Fire Department uses them. Santa Fe uses them. So our dispatch centers and our CAD system is very familiar with it. It's already on that system. That was what we were mainly worried about, was integration. And one of our main concerns was expansion. We're building new stations, and that's going to meet our needs. So rolling into Station 5, that system will automatically integrate into this. So basically, this is a need for replacement of a 30-year-old antiquated system. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to ask.
Which this will improve response time, just getting us dispatched out.
Thank you very much, Battalion Chief Simons. Any questions, commissioners?
This is not your money now, so.
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
I made the
I
motion.
missed it.
I
Okay,
missed
thank you
the-
very
I made
much.
the
Y'all got me thinking about nachos now. Motion has been made by Commissioner Clark to approve this agenda item, seconded by Commissioner Love. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Thank y'all.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, thank you, Commissioners, for your consideration of these items. We're up to Commissioners' comments. Commissioner Knoxon, you have any comments?
Yes, sir, I do. Have an announcement from Ms. Barbara White. Texas City and Lamarck schools will be out October 20th and through 24th. I'm not sure what the reason was.
That's the fall break.
Fall break.
Oh, wow, these kids are lucky.
Oh.
Well, that's from Ms. Barbara White. I wanted to give a thank you to the police department and fire for showing up in District 1 for National Night Out. Really much appreciated that. The information that you guys gave, they appreciated it. I got a lot of calls and text messages for appreciation and more questions to ask you guys. So I'll be sending that to you, Chiefs. Yeah, that'll be. Yesterday I got invited to an event at Sarah Giles Middle School called Dads on Duty. That was a great event. The mayor was there, a few other gentlemen in the community. The event pretty much was for us to circle around the kids as they come into school, cheering them on, making sure their spirits are high, encouraging them to do good and things like that. So it was a very nice event. I was happy I could be there and that to take place in my district. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Love?
No comment.
Commissioner Garza?
No comment, thank you.
Commissioner Sharp?
No.
Commissioner Clark?
Yeah, I'd like a couple things. I'd like to, weekend before last, Kenneth and I, especially Kenneth, lost a very good, dear friend. He was fire chief at Marathon, but he was Amoco BP. And his funeral was this last week, and Kenneth served under him for many years as a fireman at Amoco and BP. And it was unexpected. He was only 75 and died very unexpectedly. But I just want to thank Chief Harris and Matt Wyatt and Jason that showed up there. That meant a lot to me. I know he was a dear friend of Kenneth, but I want to thank y'all. That really meant a lot to us to see you there, and I know to his widow and his family and stuff. So thank you very much for that. And I thought that was very honorable of y'all. And since it's fall, the next big holiday is Thanksgiving, and I've heard that Barbara White is collecting turkeys. So if anybody would like to donate a turkey to Barbara, she is collecting turkeys for the Thanksgiving feast. She will be collected on November 1st through the 14th. So either call her or drop one by her house, but she's definitely collecting turkeys. So please donate if you can. And that's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. And thank you, Barbara, for doing that each year. Thank you. What year is it this year? 34th year in doing that in the city of Texas City, and our residents benefit greatly from it. I don't have many comments. I just want to echo what Commissioner Knoxon said. A great event at Giles Middle School yesterday. Just want to thank everybody for their input with what we got going on in the city. Lots of great things going on in the city, and you're going to be hearing about them soon as our communications team is hard at work, as always, putting those things on social media and making sure that you all are well aware of what's going on. Again, I don't have anything specific to announce. I want to turn it over to staff. If you have any staff announcements coming up, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Lowen as she approaches the mic. Anybody else who has any staff announcements, you can make your way to the podium at this time.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. The digital lab at the library is finally up and running. Community members can make appointments to come in and digitize film, negatives, documents. They can convert VHS tapes or cassette tapes to digital formats. So we're trying to help people preserve the items that are important to them. This is available by appointment. And also our 3D printer is now up and running. We have our first orientation training session on October 21st. Both of these are by appointment. Anybody can just give the library a call and we can get you directed to the right person and you can sign up. And so we've been working on this for about a year. We're very excited that we finally have it ready to go. And one more thing, local history related. We are participating Friday on a genealogy lock-in. It is a virtual event. It is a day full of webinars and trainings. A couple of the topics are following a civil case through documents filed in court. The AI as your genealogy assistant, beginning a family history, and these are all available online. You do need to register through us to get the link to access the sessions. So anyone that's interested, that is running all day on Friday.
Thank you very much. All right. Also, as she makes her way to the podium, I do want to announce a special promotion that we have here in the city of Texas City. You know her as Patricia Mata, but she is now our new Director of Community Development and Grants Management. Patricia Mata has filled in the absence of Ms. TT as an interim, and as TT has moved on to another chapter in her life, we have promoted Ms. Mata because she has done a great job holding down that department, and so we're just very happy for her and looking forward to some great things that she has in store.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to announce that the Mayor's Task Force on Homelessness has kicked off the Blanket Drive, benefiting the sheltered and unsheltered participants attending the annual Homeless Navigation Day event. Our goal is to distribute 100 blankets to the participants. We've asked that you please consider contributing and also sharing the flyer that's circulating. Thank you.
Thank you.
It starts this week, and we're collecting blankets until October 31st.
And the Homeless Navigation Day is going to be on November 6th.
Thank you.
Mark your calendars for that. Thank you. Anyone else?
Motion to approve.
Oh, we got one more.
She has to.
I said approve, I didn't say adjourn.
Slow,
Is that right, Jack?
slow feet. You gotta get up here quick.
I know everybody's ready to go. My phone was ringing. It was my work phone, so I was dedicated. Just a reminder that Tetra Truck is this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have well over 100 vehicles this year. We have 50 vendors, 10 food trucks. We have over 60 volunteers this year, so come join us. There's going to be a lot going on. We have monster truck rides, which are $10. We're giving away free monster truck rides right now on social media, so go comment for your chance to win. We also have pumpkin decorating, moon bounces, obstacle course, face painting, sign a car, balloon artist. We have some new entries, including a hot pink limo, some mini cars, race cars. The fire department is setting up an area where kids can actually spray the fire water hose. We're going to have a new interactive bubble area, which Frost Bank sponsored. And then we also have two 9-year-old twin boys who love Tetra Truck so much that they created a 10,000-piece Lego display. It's 10 feet long, and it's going to be at the museum on display. It's interactive. It has sounds and movement, so come and check it out.
All right.
That's
Thank you
pretty
very
cool.
much. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Any other staff announcements?
Now.
Motion to adjourn.
It's not your turn.
Motion to adjourn.
I gotta get that out of my mind. All right, thank you for that information. That was good. I appreciate that.